What's up guys, my name is Ace, and yesterday we got quite a big leak regarding Modern Warfare 2, and this time, instead of just getting data mined strings or having to trust the word of leakers in the community, this time we got actual images of the menus in Modern Warfare 2. Now these images came from NFL players that were apparently attending an event yesterday, and they had a chance to play Modern Warfare 2 early, and a couple of them shared images that they likely weren't allowed to share because they deleted them pretty shortly after posting, but once they were out there, the internet had them and it's too late. So in today's video, we're going to be going through these images, pointing out any little details that I can notice that are worth mentioning, and then also just sharing my initial thoughts based on the little bit that we can see with these leaks. And diving right in, let's have a look at the first image, and this is by far the more clear image that gives us the most information. And this was the original image. However, I wanted to clean that up, correct it, and show what it will actually look like on a screen, and this is as good as I could get here. So with this, it looks like we're seeing a private match menu, which is to be expected at an early event like this. Of course, they're playing in private matches. And it's also worth noting, at this stage, much of this could change by the time we actually get our hands on the game, or by the time the game launches. This is by no means set in stone, but it does look pretty polished in its current state. And let's start breaking down the individual elements. So the header area, the top part, we have different tabs. We have play, weapons, operators, and barracks. And those are the exact same tabs that you would see in Vanguard or Modern Warfare 2019 when you're in a custom game menu. So no surprises there, we would expect that functionality. Then toward the top right of the screen, we've got some icons there. We've got a little bell icon for notifications. I presume one of those has to do with the social tab as well, just because that's what we would normally expect. And then we have some kind of a graphic, some kind of an icon there with something next to it. Now, traditionally that would just be your prestige icon or your player level icon there. And that could be what we're seeing, but it's also worth noting that the character in this is only level 1. They've got them capped at level 1 here. So it is kind of weird to see like a fancy prestige icon, but again, this is an early build, so we really don't know exactly what that could be. One thing that I'm personally hoping for is some kind of an in-game currency that would be showing up somewhere in the top right there, but it's definitely not clear enough for us to really know what that is. As for the player list on the side there, you can see all the different players that are in this lobby, and it's interesting, you can see their faction as well. So we have a lot of coalition players, and then some other players that have it just set to auto-assign. Based on Modern Warfare, I would presume the opposite faction is Allegiance. And this is quite important because this effectively confirms that factions are returning with Modern Warfare 2. I know that's not a surprise to many, but it was one of the big complaints with Call of Duty Vanguard, just having my team versus enemy team. Looks like we're not seeing that this time around, and that's excellent to see. But then on the bottom right, we see a map revealed, and this is called Valderus Museum. And this is actually one of the few maps they talked to us about at the pre-reveal presentation that I attended behind closed doors. While I didn't get to play on the map or anything, they did show us this image of it, and they talked about it a little bit. So that's pretty cool to see. There were also several leaks with these map images, including this one of Museum. Then moving to the left, we have the Codcaster tab, and that's nice to see, although fully expected at this point. Then there's another tab for lobby members, and this one I find to be quite interesting. I'm very curious to see what that will actually show, because of course you can see the various lobby members just listed on the side, so it seems like you're going to get more details by clicking this lobby member tab, and perhaps it's just going to be so you can tab over and see different operators in the menu and see what skins they're using and stuff, or maybe it goes a bit deeper than that, and maybe we'll see something like a stats tab. I kind of doubt that based on how they've been handling things in recent years. But who knows, maybe they would bring some of that functionality back into the game. So that's a button on this UI that I definitely wish I could click and see what was going on behind that. After that, we just have the game setup tab where you would adjust the custom match rule set and everything. Then on the bottom left, we have the start match button, and it looks like they're going to be loading into a TDM. However, on the top right of that particular button, we have a game code. And this sounds very interesting. Now, this might just be for this particular build that's specifically designed for them to take to these events for people to try out the game, and the game code just makes it easier to get the lobbies together for that. So this may not appear in the full build of the game. However, I love the idea of having a game code, especially for the larger player count modes, like Ground War, assuming we have custom game access to it, or Warzone, for instance. If we had game codes, that would be huge, especially for content creators. If we wanted to just let viewers join without adding them to our friends list or anything like that, we could just provide that game code to our stream. Everybody could enter that code and join the lobby instantly. I hope this is a feature we're going to be seeing in the full build of the game. Now, on top of that, there's a little notification there that says lobby expires in 10 minutes. And again, this might just be a unique element for this particular build of the game that's designed for these pre-release events, or it might actually be a feature in the full build of the game. Perhaps something like this could be their compromise with disbanding lobbies with Modern Warfare 2. I'm not going to get my hopes too high for this, but maybe instead of disbanding after every single match, maybe they'll have it so a lobby sticks together for an hour, for instance, and once that hour is up, then it disbands the lobby, so at least you have the opportunity to potentially play multiple games with the same lobby. Now, that might be a little bit of a stretch, and like I said, I'm not holding my breath for this feature or anything, but maybe that could be a unique compromise to the disbanding lobby situation. And that pretty much wraps it up, because the other menus that you see on the top left of the screen, it's basically just duplicates of the other buttons, which does seem a little bit weird. Perhaps that's just for the lobby host, whereas the other ones are for people that are in the game. Not too sure what's going on there, but that is the first menu. And another thing to point out is just the overall aesthetic of this. It looks like they're returning to a much more static operator menu here. Instead of having your operator just constantly walking forever like we've seen in the past 3 Call of Duty games, it looks like this time your operator is just going to be standing in this big hangar area, and you've got the rest of the players in the lobby just standing behind you so you can see their operators in the background. And overall, I'm happy with the general look and feel of this menu. I mean, at the end of the day, gameplay is everything. I don't really care about the menus all that much, and the menus are not an indication of how the game is going to play. But I do like a nice, simple, easy to navigate sort of menu, and that's what we're getting here. I don't like it when they go way too complex with too many different tabs, and I hate having a cursor, especially as a console and controller player. I hate having to use a cursor to navigate menus, and it looks like we won't have to with this, so I'm actually quite happy with this so far. And this is where I just wanted to briefly touch on something I've been seeing a lot of, and that is people claiming that this is literally just a copy and paste from Vanguard or Modern Warfare. I've heard both of those. But when you do compare it, of course it's got similar elements, because those are the basic elements that are required for a custom game. Like, of course I want all those tabs to access my weapons, operators, and barracks. Of course I want to see a list of the players in the lobby. And of course I want to have buttons to set up my game and start my game. I think it would be silly to not expect those elements to be there. So I'm not too sure where those complaints are coming from, especially those that are trying to frame those complaints as this game as a whole is going to suck because this menu shares some similar features to previous Call of Duty menus. I just don't really get that. And then also with the people saying this is literally just copied and pasted from Modern Warfare 2019 or Vanguard, that's just straight up false. You just saw the comparison for yourself. It's not literally copied and pasted whatsoever. So if you are using this menu image to judge the quality of the gameplay of this game, you might want to slow down a little bit. This doesn't give us any indication whatsoever. And I'm not even trying to defend anything here aside from the use of logic. The game could be absolutely terrible. I might hate the game, but by looking at this early leaked image of a menu, I get zero indication of whether or not that's going to be true. It might be great, it might be horrible. Stop using a menu image to judge the game before you've seen it. And with that, this just leaves us with the second image that was leaked, and this one, unfortunately, is very blurry, not even the full screen. However, it does confirm a very important detail, and this is DMZ. This is something that's been up in the air for quite some time. It has never been officially acknowledged by any official channels, but there have been tons of leaks regarding the DMZ mode, and I have talked about this many times in the past. It looks like DMZ is in fact going to be coming with the game as part of Modern Warfare 2, and not like a side game, not a separate project, nothing like that. It looks like it's in the game, it's coming with Modern Warfare 2, and that's excellent news. I'm very excited to check it out. I hope they do a good job with it, but time will tell. We'll just have to get our hands on it to see for ourselves. And with that, that's pretty much everything I was able to gather from this image. It looks like we have various modes or something on the bottom part of this screen, but I can't make out any of that text, so we really have no clue what that is. And with that, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Although one last thing I wanted to point out that I didn't feel was worth making an entire video about. It looks like this Sunday we are going to be getting more official information regarding Modern Warfare 2. Now, what that information will be, I don't have a clue. All they said is what's next, and we're going to be finding this out during CDL Champs. My guess is we'll get a confirmation for a beta date, and then perhaps like a roadmap until release, where they're going to let us know when we should be expecting things. I doubt we're going to get a lot of detail with this. I think we're just going to get sort of an outline of what to expect coming up. And with that, this is where I want to hear what you guys are thinking about these menu images in those comments down below. Based on what we've seen so far, are you liking what you see or not so much? Just let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.